The other day, Mum and I were picked up by Jacqueline Fong from Tanati Foods, and we were going on a little trip to a kampong or a village in Kota Samarahan, in Kuching, Sarawak, on the island of Borneo.
Look at that! Look at all this! This is the reason why we came here, you know.
Our reason for going there was to meet with Kak Rohana and her husband Pak Mali. They are makers of Gula Apong. Gula Apong is a sugar that comes from the nipah palm tree, which grows wild. We've just arrived here and said hi to Kak Rohana, and yeah, we're gonna go and see the nipah palm trees now. When we arrived, Kak Rohana took us across the bridge, which was just across our house. Nipah palm trees grow naturally and wild along many coastlines in the Indian and Pacific Oceans. And they can grow up to about 9 meters in height. And for many, many years, people have used them to make roof or make atap for buildings, to make walls and basketry, and also for food and beverage. I'm here, and this is where we get Gula Apong from. We're with Kak Rohana in her kampong. That's where they process the Gula Apong at the back. Well, they process the air and then it becomes Gula Apong. And there's nipah tree for miles. You can't see the end of it. So what they do, okay, I'm gonna multitask and go and walk on this at the same time. So what they do is that they look for the buah of the nipah tree. So then they get the buah of the nipah tree. They'll knock the thick stem of the mature flowers to let the juice or the sap that's inside the stem to flow upwards, and that sap is what they collect. And something like after 3 weeks, they cut it down at the stem. And then they collect it in bamboo. Pak Mali, who is Kak Rohana's husband, will leave the bamboo there for roughly 12 hours. He will usually set it down in the afternoon about 5 p.m. and then in the morning pick it up at about 6 to 8 a.m. We also noticed this spider hunter bird that was enjoying the air nira, or the sap or the juices that's coming up, because it's really sweet.
Untuk satu malam.
So ni baru letak?
Itu baru letak.
Oh. Yang ni baru letak pagi tadi nah. So the bamboo stops it from fermenting. But just now we saw it in a plastic bottle, because when they collect in a plastic bottle, that's for drinking. After collecting the bamboo filled with air nira, Pak Mali will bring it back to his little pondok or little hut nearby to process to become Gula Apong. He pours it all into this big, I don't know what you call this, container, and it takes about 5 to 7 hours to reduce into, this caramelly goodness. I think that's really, for me, the closest thing to describe Gula Apong to you. It's caramelly, it's sweet, it has this certain kind of flavor to it, maybe like a pinch of salt it tastes like, but he doesn't put anything into his Gula Apong. It's all pure nipah palm sugar made with his own hands, literally from his backyard, using the goodness that nature has given. And as the day is done, we follow Kak Rohana back across the bridge to her house where she's cooking. So scared I'm gonna drop my phone in here. Okay. Yeah, So, you know, I always see a lot about nipah, tapi I never really knew the process of it. And Gula Apong is different from Gula Melaka, and that Gula Melaka is from the pokok kelapa, whereas Gula Apong, which Sarawak is quite famous for, is from the nipah tree.
Taking a photo. She's okay. I trained her from very young to go on these bridges.
Jackie, you know, I love cats, like I'm obsessed.
Do you have?
No, I don't have. Back in the kitchen, Kak Rohana is preparing some keretop, which is a Sarawak, kind of like an energy bar made with rice and gula apong. This is gula apong ke lapis.
This one only.
This one. For those of you that don't know, kek lapis is a very famous food in Sarawak. She prepared also a really special treat, which is the air nira boiled, air nira yang telah dimasak. Okay, so this is... And then Pak Mali comes along and he brought that plastic bottle that we saw earlier, and we're gonna try it fresh also. Ini yang dah masak.
Yang ini lebih sedap lagi.
This one just boiled.
Oh, this is nice.
Ya, yang ini lagi wangi. Yang ini lagi wangi.
Saya cuba.
It tastes like ni macam
Jagung.
macam jagung.
Ah.
The air nira that was boiled to me tastes a bit like corn. I'm not sure where that corn taste come from, but Pak Mali also thought that it tastes like corn, so I'm not the only one. The fresh, uncooked air nira tasted very much like sugar syrup, but with its own particular flavor, which makes sense because essentially it's pure nectar from a big flower. It was just so lovely to spend the day with Kak Rohana, Pak Mali, and their children, and my mother, and Jackie as well. I feel like it's all too rare these days to have moments like these where, you know, we can experience harvesting food from our backyards. It made me really reflect on my own food consumption. You know, I like to think that our bodies need whatever is locally grown in the environment around us, and how buying local produce not only reduces our carbon footprint, but also supports communities in an economic way, and also in keeping the knowledge of these edible plants alive.